All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And it's day 9. Woo! 3 more days to go. 3 more days to go till Christmas. Presenting the Konga course e-commerce training module with your host, Chiodogu. And it's a 12 days of e-commerce Christmas series. So, what are we talking about? So, last time I'm talking about how to systematize your business for success. And we covered the reasons why you should do it and why they're beneficial. So now we're going to jump right into the how-to. So basically, what you need to do in order to systematize your business is you need to create a standard operating procedure. So basically, you want to look at it like this. If something or some task or some activity makes you money, you should not be doing it personally. That's the difference between working on your business and in your business. So if it comes up more than once, if a task comes up more than once, or if you see that it's repeatable for numerous activities, you need to document each step end to end. And then you also need to be able to train someone who can do it 80%, at least 80% as good as you can do it. You don't need to have the person 100% perfect. You have the person 100% perfect, yes, but 80% is just kind of like to have a margin of error, because some people might not, follow your process exactly your way. You might have some idiosyncrasies that may not be transferable, but if the entire task itself can be done accurately and properly without any of the little flourishes that makes your unique signature adds to the task, then I think that's a success. So, dealing with your SOP. This is a framework I like for you to think about whenever you're trying to come up with an SOP or standard operating procedure. So the acrostic I use is DEAL. And so what does DEAL mean? Well, it's define it, each step it, assign it, and leave it. So you want it for every SOP, for every process that is repeatable in your business, you want to define what the process is. So you write out that task. You need to open up a document, maybe Google Docs or Word document, text document, PowerPoint, whatever you need to do to write down each step. So you want to put it first online, and then you print it out and put it in a visible place where anyone can access it in your organization and run with the work. So define the role to start with. So each process you say, hey, take for example, you want to open a new customer account. You say, hey, this is how to open a new customer account. And then you're going to say, step 1, enter the person's name, address, phone number. Step 2, call the person to verify the name, address, and phone number. So that's the each step. So each step needs to be detailed from start to finish. You need to say exactly what you do and why you do it. When you're done with that step, you then need to assign that role or that task to a member of your team to do. So you assign the SOP to a member of your team to do, and then lastly, you leave it and move on to another task in your business and repeat step 1 to the end again. So define it, each step it, assign it, and then leave it alone and move on to something else. So by the time you do this for each and every step, for each and every task in your business, you find out that you don't need to actually be there for things to run as smoothly, just because you've codified and you've systematized and you've documented it and you put it in a codex. So each and every employee that you have that you want to take on a particular role or assignment can just go in when you're not there and read how to do whatever task it needs to be done, and they don't need to ask you questions. If follow-up questions come along and you notice that these things are asked often, document it and include it in your SOP. So the 8 steps in creating systems are: basically, you need to seek help from smart friends and staff when creating your system, because basically Your brilliant friends either have organizations of their own or work in professional services organizations that are very rigidly systematized, and so you can gain knowledge by osmosis from them and know exactly what to do when you're crafting your system. And you can ask your employees, because if you're at the top of the food chain, most of the time you might not be doing the little grunt work, so your employees might be able to offer assistance to you. Next step is to create a strategic objective to let everyone know the rationale, philosophy, and reason behind the system. So it's one thing to just have a system created, it's another thing for people to understand why they have that system in place. So you need to educate your staff and your team members as to why you are doing this particular task or why you have an SOP in place. If they know the philosophy and the rationale with it, they will be able to follow along and also sometimes be able to make some rapid adjustments along the way if unique situations arise. You then want to start working on the SOP process and creating systems immediately and avoid procrastinating just because if you say you do it later, you do it later. Later never ever comes. So you just get started right away. Then test out your new system, observe each point of failure, and tweak it. So once you have an SOP in place, you want to follow it yourself to the letter, and then you find out wherever you have kinks, and then you try and work out those kinks. So you tweak and you optimize your system, and you improve on the document, and you document the improvements. So tweak it, optimize it, document it, and improve the document. Simple. Now, one thing you want to notice that you want to make your SOP very simple and easy, both for you to be able to teach it to someone and for someone to understand. You don't need to use highly complex words or language when you're creating an SOP. Something simple that GSS2 person can understand. So let's not even GS2. GS2 is too far. Let's call it something that a primary 5 person can understand. That's how easy you want to make it. You want to break it down so simply that anybody can just pick it up, understand what is written there, and do it. You don't want to multitask when you're doing this. You want to keep related tasks in the same portfolio for somebody to take over. So take, for example, if it means opening a new account and also fulfilling orders, those in my mind are two separate things. So you want to keep tasks that are related to account building, verification, and what have you in the same family, as well as things like fulfillment, transportation, shipping, and handling, and all that stuff in another portfolio. That way, people can actually do backward integration and say, okay, these tasks are related. It'll be faster if we do them, and then somebody else can take over the other side and say, hey, it'll be faster if I do all this. And lastly, good is better than perfect. So somebody that can do something 85% of what you can do is a whole lot better than someone trying to learn how to get something 100% perfect for you. So that's never going to work. If you rely on that, you're asking for a whole lot of pain. So good is better than perfect. Sometimes you just have to make sure it's good enough and it works, as opposed to meeting your high standards. So here are some books that I've read in the past that have really broken down the creation of systems. In fact, if you read at least 2 of any of these books on this recommendation list, I can assure you that your knowledge will leapfrog any other e-commerce professional working in Nigeria by leaps and bounds. So check out eMyth Revisited by Michael Gerber, Work the System by Sam Carpenter, The 4-Hour Workweek by my boy Tim Ferriss, Built to Sell, John Warrillow, and last but not least, The Checklist Manifesto. If I had to recommend the first 2 for you to start, I'd go with The 4-Hour Workweek, Tim Ferriss, and Work the System by Sam Carpenter. By the time you read those 2, you'll probably be 90% of the way there in terms of creating systems. The rest, you can read them for your pleasure, but those 2 I think will really set the ball rolling. And I'm sure you can probably find these on either Latana Ventures or, of course, Konga.com. yeah, so check them out. So with that said, guys, thanks for listening and watching as always. It's Chiodogu. Any questions or comments, leave me a message on the YouTube channel. I'll get back to you. You can hit me up on my contact form on ecommerceruns.com or audaci.com. It has my email address or chat box. So hit me up on any of these links and I'll be sure to get back to you. Till next time, guys, take care, have fun. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. As always, stay bulletproof, stay warm, stay healthy. Merry Christmas in advance and wish you a happy, prosperous new year wherever you are. Cheers, guys. Bye.